In order to measure a segment, we're going to go over the parts of a ruler. So a ruler normally has inches and centimeters. Inches is the standard unit of measure. Inches go into feet, feet go into yards, and yards go into miles. Whereas with centimeters, centimeters go into meters, which go into kilometers, and so on. So looking at a ruler, we're going to go over inches first. A ruler is normally 12 inches long, which represents 1 foot. In between an inch, it is broken up into 16 tick marks. And that is what I've drawn on the top labeled standard, is that breakup inside of that 1 inch. So we're going to go over that now. So this starts at 0 and goes to 1 inch. Now you can see there's 1/16, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 tick marks to go from 0 to 1 inch. 1 inch being the 16th. So we can break that up into fraction and say that this tick mark right there is 1/16. So that one would be 2/16. But 2/16 can be simplified to 1/8. So now we have 1/16, 2/16, known as 1/8, 3/16, 4/16, 4/16 is known as 2/8. But 2/8 can be simplified as 1/4. So from 1/4, we have 5/16, 6/16, whereas 6/16 is also 3/8, 7/16, and 8/16. 8/16 can be broken up into not only 4/8, but also it can be broken up into 2/4. But we know that 2/4 is also 1/2. So this is the halfway point between 0 and 1. So that's known as half of an inch. We go from 8/16 to 9/16 of an inch to 10/16 of an inch, which would be known as 5/8 of an inch. 10 to 11/16 of an inch, 12/16 of an inch, which is 6/8, which is also 3/4. So 12/16 of an inch, 13/16, 14/16, which is 7/8, 15/16, and 16/16, which is, as we know it, to be 1 inch. Each inch on a ruler is broken up into that. So we have this labeled as 0 to 1, but you could also have the left side labeled as 1 and the right side 2. So if you got to that halfway point, that would be 1.5 as opposed to just 1/2. So that's the breakdown of the standard side of the ruler. Now, the metric side of the ruler is a lot simpler. The metric side of the ruler has 10 little tick marks, and that's represented where I labeled metric. So this is going from 0 to 1, and as you can see, that's a lot shorter than this 0 to 1. So from 0 to 1 centimeter. Each tick mark represents 1/10, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tick marks total, so 10 out of 10 would be 1 centimeter. But centimeters can be broken down into another label. inches, we would have to say that it was a fraction of an inch. But for centimeters, you can break those down into millimeters. And a millimeter represents 1/10 of a centimeter. So this is 1/10 of a centimeter, which is the same thing as 0.1 if you wrote it as a decimal. And that's of a centimeter. Or you can write 1 millimeter, mm. So this would be 2 millimeters, or 2/10 of a centimeter, 3 millimeters, 3/10 of a centimeter, 4 millimeters, or 4/10 of a centimeter. This would be 5 millimeters, or 5/10 of a centimeter. 6/10 of a centimeter would be 6 millimeters, and then so on. 7 millimeters, 8 millimeters, 9 millimeters, and 10 millimeters would be 1 centimeter. Now let's look at measuring a line. So we're measuring here, AB, and we're measuring CD there. Let's measure them both in inches and in centimeters. So place your ruler, starting at 0, and lay it down until it reaches B. So I'm past the 7 mark, so this would be 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, 5, 6, 7 inches is right here. But I don't quite make it to 8, so this is going to be 7 and some fraction of an inch. If I look, I can see that it lands perfectly on 3/4 of an inch. My 1/4, my 1/2, which is my 2/4, and then my 3/4 mark. So this is 7 3/4 of an inch. An inch can be represented by a double quote, or you could write the word inch out. So 7 3/4 of an inch, or 7.75 inches if you wrote it as decimal. Now if we were to flip this around and do centimeters, I have 1 centimeter all the way over here, and it goes up to 19 centimeters. So it's between 19 and 20 centimeters. And it looks like it falls on 19.7 centimeters. 19.7 centimeters. You could also label that as 9 centimeters and 7 millimeters. Next, we're going to measure from C to D. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches. So it's between 5 and 6. And it looks like it lands a little bit before the 3/4 mark. So it looks like it's the 16th mark that's directly before the 3/4 mark. So that would be 11/16. So that would be 5 and 11/16 of an inch. And you can also convert that into a decimal. Now for centimeters, it looks like it falls after 14. And it's the 4th mark in roughly. So this is 14.4 centimeters.